I walked into the break room and saw a grown man on the floor, eyes wide, clawing at his throat like the air had turned into glass. People were shouting, someone was crying, and in the middle of all that chaos, my lunch container sat open on the table, because the person who'd been stealing from me for a week straight finally took the wrong one. If you've ever had someone disrespect you in a way that seems small, but slowly poisons your whole day, hit like, subscribe and settle in. Because this is the kind of revenge story that starts petty and ends with sirens. 3 years ago, I worked in a factory that never slept. 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week. The kind of place where the air tastes like metal and the lights feel too white. Like the building is always awake, even when you're not. The company hired through a bunch of temp agencies, so faces changed constantly. One day you'd learn someone's name. The next day their locker would be empty and nobody would even mention it. And in a place like that, your lunch isn't just food. It's your one calm moment. Your tiny reward for surviving another shift. I wasn't bringing fancy stuff, just decent meals. I prepped at night because I couldn't afford to buy cafeteria food every day. That lunch was my I'm still holding it together ritual. Then it started happening. First day, I opened the fridge and my container was gone. I stared at the shelves like maybe I'd become sleep-deprived enough to hallucinate. I checked twice, then 3 times. I even looked behind someone's half-empty salad like my food might be hiding for fun. Nothing. I told myself, okay, mistake. Someone grabbed the wrong thing. I went back to my station with that hollow stomach feeling. Like you're hungry, but you're also insulted. The second day it happened, the hunger turned into heat. Not spicy heat. Emotional heat. A slow burn that crawled up my neck and made my jaw clench without permission. By day 3, I stopped believing in accidents. By day 4, I started watching people. You ever feel that specific kind of anger where you're smiling at someone while imagining flipping a table? That was me, because everyone acted normal. Everyone laughed, everyone ate, and I was working 12 hours on fumes. Hearing my stomach growl like it was trying to embarrass me. No lunch for 6 shifts. 6. That's not a prank anymore. That's someone deciding you don't deserve what you paid for. The worst part wasn't even the hunger. It was the disrespect. Because stealing lunch is intimate in a weird way. It's not like stealing a pen. It's taking something you prepared with your own hands. Something meant for your body. It's saying, your effort is mine now. I tried the polite route first. I wrote my name in huge letters on the lid. Gone. I moved my lunch to the back of the fridge like it was a hidden treasure. Gone. I even asked around casually. Light tone, fake laugh. Hey, has anyone seen a container with my name? I think it got moved. People shrugged. People avoided eye contact. A couple people joked, guess you gotta fight back, man. And they laughed like it was a sitcom. But I wasn't laughing. I started keeping mental notes. Who always showed up with no lunch? Who was mysteriously full after break? Who hovered near the fridge a little too long? The factory had this constant hum, machines, footsteps, metal clanks, and somehow, under all that noise, my thoughts got louder. I'd catch myself imagining ridiculous revenge, glitter bombs, fake notes, cameras, decoy containers filled with something gross. Then I'd remember, I just wanted to eat. I just wanted my one peaceful break. But after a week, something inside me snapped. Not violently, not dramatically. More like a door closing. I remember sitting on my bed the night before the next shift, staring at my empty lunch bag like it was accusing me. And I thought, if someone keeps choosing to hurt me, they don't get to be comfortable doing it. So I decided to set a trap. Not the kind of trap that's meant to hurt someone. More like a lesson. A try this again and regret it moment. I made a lunch that looked incredible. The kind of meal that would tempt a thief even if they weren't hungry. I packed it carefully, like I was wrapping a gift. Because I was a gift for the person who thought they could keep taking from me. The next morning, I walked into the lunchroom like I always did. Same fluorescent lights, same cold air from the fridge, same half-crumpled paper towels near the sink. I slid my container onto the shelf, closed the fridge, and walked away. And the rest of that hour at my station, I couldn't focus. Every few minutes, I'd hear someone laugh across the floor. and my brain would whisper, "Is it happening right now?" My hands worked on autopilot, but my chest felt tight, like I'd swallowed a rock. Because even though I was angry, I didn't actually want a disaster. I wanted justice. I wanted the thief to feel a moment of panic and say, "Nope, never again. That's it. Just a consequence." About an hour later it happened. Not quietly, not subtly. A scream cut through the factory noise, so sharp it made everyone's heads snap up at once. It wasn't a startled scream. It was a help me scream. My body moved before my brain did. I stepped away from my station and followed the sound toward the break room. Heart pounding so hard it felt like it was trying to climb out of my ribs. When I got there, the scene hit me like a cold slap. People were crowded near the tables, backing away in panic. A woman, one of the temps, I barely knew her, was yelling for someone to call 911. And on the floor was a man. He was gasping, like the air wasn't working. Like he was trying to inhale and his lungs were refusing to cooperate. His face looked wrong, flushed, frantic, terrified. His eyes were wide, and his hands were trembling, like his body didn't know what to do with itself. Someone kept saying, "Breathe, breathe, just breathe." But he couldn't. And then I saw it. My lunch container was open on the table, the lid tilted to the side, a bite missing. Time slowed down in that horrifying way where your brain zooms in on one detail and everything else turns into background noise. My stomach dropped, not because I felt guilty, at least not yet, because suddenly this wasn't about a thief being uncomfortable. This was real. This was a man on the floor, struggling. And I didn't even know his name. Someone must have called emergency services fast, because it felt like only minutes before medics were there. The factory supervisor was red-faced, barking orders, trying to look in control while everyone stared. The man was wheezing, clutching his chest. The medics got him onto a stretcher. Oxygen mask. Quick questions. Urgency. I stood back with the others, but my body felt disconnected, like I was watching a movie and forgot I was in it. My mind kept repeating one thought. That was supposed to be mine. And then the darker thought followed. If he hadn't stolen it, this wouldn't be happening. I didn't say a word. Not one. Because what do you even say in that moment? "Hey, that's my food." "Hey, he stole it." "Hey, I made it extra spicy because someone was stealing from me." It all sounded insane in my head. And the most unsettling part, the man didn't say anything either. Not once did he point at me. Not once did he shout, "It was his!" He just suffered in silence. Like he knew exactly why this happened and didn't want anyone asking questions. The supervisors investigated, of course. They had to. It's a workplace. Someone goes to the hospital, HR suddenly remembers they exist. They asked basic questions. Did anyone see what he ate? Did anyone bring food that could have caused a reaction? Does anyone know if he has allergies? People shrugged. People whispered. People looked around like they were trying to solve a mystery. And I did something I'm not proud of. I stayed quiet, because the truth was complicated. I wasn't trying to hurt someone. I was trying to stop being treated like a doormat. But the world doesn't care about your intent when someone can't breathe. That day, work felt heavier. The machine sounded louder. The lights looked harsher. Every time I swallowed, my throat felt dry. I kept expecting someone to pull me aside, to accuse me, to fire me, to do something. Nothing happened. Days passed, then weeks. And the lunchbox bandit? My lunch never disappeared again. Not once. It was over. The factory rumor mill tried to make it dramatic, of course. People would say things like, "Someone poisoned him," or "Dude almost died from someone's food." And then they'd laugh nervously, like the story was entertainment. But no one knew it was me. And I never corrected them. Because it wasn't a victory that felt clean. It felt like walking away from a car crash you technically didn't cause, but could have prevented. Here's the part that messed with me the most. The thief never reported it, never blamed me, never told on himself. And I realized why. Because admitting what happened meant admitting he'd been stealing. Not just from me, probably from others too. He chose silence over accountability. He chose pain over confession. And in a twisted way, that was the punishment. He didn't get to be a victim in public. He didn't get sympathy. He didn't get justice, because to get any of that, he would have had to tell the truth. So the whole factory moved on, and the only people who truly knew what happened were me and him. And every time I opened that fridge after that, and my lunch was still there, I felt two emotions at the same time: relief and a heavy, quiet guilt. Justice with a shadow. Looking back, I still don't know if I'd call it right. I just know this: disrespect feels small until it happens every day. Then it becomes a kind of cruelty. And sometimes, the line between teaching a lesson and causing real harm is thinner than you think. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and subscribe for more revenge stories with real emotional consequences. And tell me in the comments, what's the pettiest thing someone did that pushed you to your breaking point? Because trust me, everybody has a line.